Good, happy Saturday morning. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. And by the way, we have a live stream going, so you can watch us behind the scenes as well. And you can tune in on here as well. We have lots of news to talk about, so let's begin. First up, Salem Police. Mass constable sold drugs in Babies R Us parking lot. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9, Mike Cronin.
Provide a safe, trusting haven for my patients. I will remain objective in my relationships. I will not violate the physical boundaries of the patient. And will always do no harm.
Tom, it happened in the middle of the day outside of this store, and police say not only is this man a drug dealer, but also works in the legal system. Along this busy stretch of Route 28 in Salem, police say the Babies R Us parking lot was the site of a drug deal.
So obviously there's a lot of kids around, there's parents of newborn children, so with drug deals you never know.
Thursday afternoon, police were tipped off about a possible drug sale. Then detectives say they watched 47-year-old Rafael Concepcion of Methuen sell 8 grams of heroin for $110. No other drugs were found in his car, but police found something else. Officers say Concepcion had this badge on him and believe he's a Massachusetts constable. Generally, constables work in the judicial system and can serve civil papers like subpoenas.
From my understanding, constables have to have a clean record, have to be go through a background. So it is concerning that somebody has a badge in their wallet when they're dealing drugs.
Police are still investigating, and it's unclear whether the person who allegedly bought the heroin will face charges. Concepcion is charged with sale of a controlled drug and is free on $1,000 cash bail. Police say the drug deal location is another alarming example of the severity of New Hampshire's drug crisis.
It is concerning that it could happen in a parking lot like Babies R Us, but it really happens in parking lots all over the towns and cities.
Concepcion will be arraigned next month. He did not respond to our request for comment. Reporting live in Salem, Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Whoops. Police seeking criminal charges against taxi driver that injured 10. Let's take a listen to a look at this report. Massachusetts State Police said they were seeking criminal charges against the taxi driver who drove into and injured 10 people at Logan Airport taxi pool Monday. Investigators said they were seeking to charge the driver of the cab, identified by police as Lieutenant Clinford, 56 of Cambridge, with operating to endanger. Clinford was employed as a driver for Metro Cab of Boston. Police said they filed an immediate threat notification with the Registry of Motor Vehicles seeking to have Clinford's license revoked. Authorities said Clinford Hackney's license was suspended indefinitely and turned over to the Boston Police. State Police said the decision to seek charges following an investigation that determined that the cause of the crash was operator error. And there you go on that report. Westbrook's Smiling Hill Farm hosts goat yoga session. Let's take a listen to this video from WMTW News 8 in Maine.
Let's try exercise.
I miss you. I think about you all the time.
I bet you do.
You need to control your impulses.
Does it make you feel powerful to manipulate people like this?
I don't know who's in control anymore.
Well, new at 11, it is a craze sweeping the nation. Two things you would probably never think to put together. But those involved say it is a perfect match. Goats and yoga. Goat yoga is popping up all over the nation, and now classes are taking place at Smiling Hill Farms in Westbrook. And it's an experience organizers say is truly one of a kind.
I love to offer people unique opportunities to connect with nature, to connect with themselves. And so I thought, gee, why aren't I doing goat yoga?
You've got to try it. You absolutely have to try it. It's like one of those things where you can look back and say, hey, have you ever done yoga with goats before?
I can't say I have, but they even left a portion of the time at the end of the class just for cuddling. You can contact the farm or Ashley Flowers Yoga to find out when classes are available.
Now that is very cool indeed. I want to do goat yoga. That looks like a fun thing to do. Kremlin and White House disagree over remarks from Trump-Putin meeting. Let's take a listen to this video from ABC News.
Face-to-face meeting President Trump, Vladimir Putin. And it was President Trump who did not ignore the elephant in the room, Russian meddling in the U.S. election. They would shake hands several times, the president telling him it is an honor. Putin responding in kind, but Putin's response to the president when he brought up Russian meddling was far different. And all of it played out as protests filled the streets, the violence spreading. About 200 officers hurt, fires set, and the images coming in at this hour. But first, Vladimir Putin saying he did not hack the U.S. election, and President Trump appearing ready now to move on. ABC's Cecilia Vega traveling with the president.
It was only supposed to last about 35 minutes, but President Trump and Vladimir Putin had so much to say, their meeting went on and on for a full 2 hours and 16 minutes. The cameras allowed in briefly to witness that high-stakes face-to-face. President Trump reaching out to shake the hand of the man accused of meddling in America's election. There was smiling and small talk. Before they got down to business, there was even a back pat. But even before President Trump brought up Russia's election meddling, he said this.
President Putin and I have been discussing various things, and I think it's going very well. We've had some very, very good talks. We look forward to a lot of very positive things happening for Russia, for the United States. It's an honor to be with you.
And Vladimir Putin returned the compliment, saying he was pleased to meet President Trump, hoping their first meeting would have, quote, positive results. Just 24 hours earlier, the president said election meddling could have been Russia, it could have been others. But today, when the doors closed, the White House says President Trump raised the issue right out of the gate. What happened next? Each side tells a different story. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson was in the room. He says the president repeatedly pressed the issue and that Putin denied Russia's involvement.
The president at this point, he pressed him and then, felt like at this point, let's talk about how do we go forward.
So the president stopped pressing.
There was not a lot of relitigating of the past.
Tillerson's Russian counterpart, Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, was also in the room. He says President Trump heard Putin's denial and accepted it. The White House tonight says that is not the case. The two moving on from election meddling, which the president's own intelligence community blames squarely on Russia. They say Vladimir Putin ordered it, motivated by animosity toward Hillary Clinton. Secretary Tillerson today said the issue may remain unresolved. And the Senate's top Democrat called that, quote, disgraceful. The marathon meeting went on so long, at one point, First Lady Melania Trump entered the room trying to get them to wrap it up. They went on for another hour after that. But the two men, not the only ones who seemed to hit it off. Just hours later, cameras capturing these images of the First Lady and Putin chatting and smiling and seated together for dinner.
And Cecilia Vega with us live from Germany tonight. Cecilia, Democrats outraged. The president appears ready to move on. The Russians saying the president accepted Putin's response, that he didn't do it. The White House tonight pointing out an accomplishment, common ground on Syria.
Exactly right, David. A ceasefire in the southwestern part of the country. This deal reached by the U.S., Russia, and Jordan. Previous deals just like this one have not lasted very long, David. It remains to be seen whether this one will stick.
We'll be watching. And Cecilia, we know it wasn't just that face-to-face meeting with Vladimir Putin. President Trump was also asked on the world stage with Mexico's president right beside him whether he still expects Mexico to pay for the wall.
His first meeting with Peña Nieto since taking office, David, and his answer to that question, absolutely, he expects Mexico to pay for this wall. Behind closed doors, without the cameras there, though, David, Mexico says the wall never even came up.
All right, Cecilia Vega leading us off, traveling with the president for us. Cecilia, thank you.
Okay, and there you go on that report. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Have a great rest of your Saturday. See you back here later on today. Bye, everyone.